Welcome. Today is our Wednesday Bliss Techniques meeting. It's nice to have you here, those who are here. So, well, I guess Wednesday is the new Tuesday. So, I'm referring to attendance because Tuesday used to be dwindling, and now. So we'll see. So our intention for today. Let's get started. So this is going to be a guided practice with a healing intention, so that all who are in attendance, whether live or on the recording, watching the recording through YouTube, collectively share in the healing benefits of the guided practice. So I think that I think it's clear. If it's not clear, I'll make it clear now that I do recommend that you are intentional in your life. So intentionality means having clarity about what your intention is and acting in accordance with that, so that when you're aware of your intention, then you know that you want to follow through on that. Because if you don't follow through on it, then it just is stuck, and then you have a sense of being stuck. And we usually don't like that sense of stuck because it's unnatural. So nature, uh, we are students of nature. We are lovers of nature. So whether you knew that or not, that's one of the reasons we're here. And so we want to be working in together with nature. We want to be working with nature's laws, let's say, or with the nature of nature rather than against. And so, if we have the intention, we want to then be aware of how we can best work or coordinate our activities with nature. So that's what this practice offers. So we start with the clarity of what our own intention is. Why are we here? Okay, so what is the purpose for this next hour, roughly? Why? And you have to look to yourself to discover what this is, what it is that you're here for in this life, in this moment. Maybe, hopefully, the answer to both is the same. When the answer to both is the same, both life and in this moment, then you're in a good place. Because it said you can only serve, nobody can serve two masters, or something along those lines. So we have to be clear, who is our master? Who are we serving? So most of us have served fear, anger, anxiety, frustration, impatience. I'm listing off let me just put it very directly. I have worshipped fear, anger, frustration, impatience, worry, anxiety, many others that I won't indulge in naming at this moment, but I hope you get the gist of it. There's an essence there. We could say it's ignorance, fundamentally. And I can report terrible results. So I'm just being witness to that for you, so that you can also notice that in your own experience. So just call it out and see where you've worshipped these things, where you've worshipped ignorance, and to see that's not natural. That's not who you are. That's not actually who you are. So You want to be clear on who you are and call out those qualities that are true from your soul. So whatever they are, the patience, generosity, compassion, wellness, abundance, security. Okay, so whatever those are for you. And then however you envision that those might express in your life, whatever that is, uh, material success, material wealth, material security, whatever it is for you. If you've been suffering in some way and what's true for you is to overcome it, then by all means do so. So have that clarity, but know the truth of the essence of it from your soul, and dedicate this practice to your true healing intention for you, for your family, for your loved ones. Okay, so we're going to start well, we've already started, but we're going to next transition to the next step, in which we are going to do some movement-based exploration. And we're going to start with some self-massage. Mine will be clothed, as you can maybe see, it's a bit cold here, or I feel a bit cold. But if you don't have to wear 3 layers like I am, you can do whatever's comfortable for you. If you are somebody who has dry skin, then I do encourage that you consider regular oil massage, because that will be really helpful. If you haven't done that, then, and this is the first time you've ever heard me, I mean, those of you who are here live, I don't think this would be the first time you've heard me speak of it, but for anybody who hasn't, just, I would, natural food-based oils, sesame oil is a good option. Small amount for safety. Be sure not to get it on your feet and then slip around, and safety first. Don't make a big mess. Just giving some general precautions there, but it can be very helpful. So you could do that now, since you were presumably in some sort of privacy. But it's certainly not necessary. So what is necessary, though, is that you're in a position that is comfortable for you. So you could be seated, or you could be lying down. Hopefully you could find a way to be comfortable either seated or lying down. If you're going to be lying down, I would suggest on your back, because we're going to be massaging on the front. So so take a moment to really get into this position that you're in, and begin to notice your breath, and allow your breath to be in and out through the nose. Hopefully that's possible for you. If not, then something to explore. You could let me know, and we could, maybe if there are people who have that trouble, we could explore that together. But awareness of the breath traveling hopefully through the nose. And if it's comfortable for you, you can close the eyes. It's not necessary, but if it's comfortable, then you may close the eyes. And the reason being that it just can help you to tune into the direct experience of this, because otherwise we tend to be very visually oriented, dominant. So just to reduce the visual stimuli can help us to tune into the other dimensions of our experience. So you can start to notice the qualities of the breath as you experience it. So you can notice what is the quality of the inhalation, what is the quality of the exhalation, and you might just, this can be a meditation in and of itself, very powerful one, just noticing. And if the mind wants to give commentary, that's okay. It can just, the mind can give commentary, but it's invited. The intellect is even invited, but it's just directed, noticing the breath, hopefully moving through the nostrils, if not moving wherever it's moving. And allow for the inhalation and the exhalation to be pleasurable. Notice where the breath travels. So it's traveling wherever it's traveling. I can't actually tell you what your experience is. I could suggest some things that you could experiment with. But to begin with, let's just see what's happening. So just notice whatever it is. So we're noticing the breath, the quality of the inhalation and the exhalation, and the movement of the breath. Now, in addition to all that, if that's a possibility for you, or if you're interested, but you don't need to do this, you could also start to notice how that breath is interacting with the body. So you notice that the breath there's a movement to the breath. The breath has qualities. We've observed this. And there's a sense of the body. And you can notice that the sense of the body and the movement of the breath are interacting. So even in at an intellectual level, we can understand that that's so, because the air, which is the expression of the breath, is, or the vehicle of the breath, however we understand it, is coming into the body and going out of the body. And somehow that air is being taken into the body. So it comes in, goes into the lungs, and the lungs have all of these little, they have names. I don't remember the proper name for them, alveoli or something like that, that are like branches. And there's smaller ones that come off of those branches, and then the smaller branches, even smaller ones, and so forth, all the way until it goes into the blood. So the inside and the outside are coming together through the breath. And then the reverse process also, where through the blood and the lungs coming together, the air is from the body goes out. So you think about everything that's in the body and everything that's outside of the body are coming together through the breath. So with every inhalation, letting it be pleasurable, you can actually receive the infinity of all that prana, to use the technical term, all the energy, all of the nature, everything, it's all coming here, merging. And then with every exhalation, that same life force goes back out. So we're just observing, and with every, we can start to add intention here. Well, before we get to the intention, I want to point out one thing about the breath and the body interaction that you can observe. You can notice the sensations of the body that are highlighted that move as the breath moves. So it's maybe somewhat subtle. It's much subtler than our normal state of consciousness, because our normal state of consciousness is somewhat coarse in this, because we're accustomed to thinking of ourselves in a particular way and interacting with the world in a particular way. But here, obviously, it's a much more refined experience because we're just at the subtle level with the breath. So we're just observing the breath, but it tells us about our whole experience. So it's very rich. So you can observe how that breath interacts with the body, because it's what gives life to the body. It's what animates the body. It's what is actually, in Ayurvedic terms, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe that the pain, or at least certain kinds of pain, are controlled by vata. Vata is air. So we're talking about the same energy. So the pain is also a movement. So all the experience is actually the same vital energy. And we're connecting with that at a very subtle level just by observing the breath in this way. So what it does is it brings balance to that quality. So if you have an imbalance in that quality of energy, then you could experience, well, pain. You could experience anxiety, stiffness, soreness. Soreness is a little bit of fire as well, but you start to notice that by being aware of the breath at this subtle level, everything is being balanced. Everything in the body is coming into balance. Everything in the mind is coming into balance. Because you notice, as you're just aware of the breath, the mind just becomes very quiet. Because you cannot attend, remember what I was mentioning before, you cannot serve two masters. So if you're attending to the breath, then you cannot be serving the mind. And there's a story from one of the Upanishads. I think I've told this story before. As usual, I'll tell it badly. There's a boy named Nachicheta, I think is his name, or Nachiketa, one of the two. And he somehow ends up in meeting with death, Yama. And after Yama tests his purity, he rewards the boy with what the boy desires, which is to have knowledge of, I don't know, life, the supreme knowledge, basically. So so Yama tells a story about the chariot, and the chariot, chariot is drawn by, I think, 5 horses, 5 reins, and there's a charioteer who's driving the chariot. So Yama describes how each of these elements what they each represent. So um, the horses and the reins both represent, they have to do with the senses. And so you get the picture that we're pulled around by our senses. So this experience is all sensory, and we're drawn around by them. And then the chariot, I think, is the body. So the body is the vehicle. And the charioteer, I think, is the mind. So the charioteer commands the senses and drives the body. And then he says, and who are you? So you are the one being driven about by this whole show. You know, the chariot is um, is your vehicle. You're not the charioteer, you're not the horses, you're not the reins, you're not the chariot. You're the one who's residing in the chariot. You're the one whose chariot it is. So this is what we're noticing, maybe by attending to the breath. You start to notice everything quietens. So you start to see the mind. You start to see these thoughts appearing at a subtle level. Okay, so this is we want to help ourselves quieten down to the subtle level, and then we can benefit from the next stage of our practice. And I guess for the benefit of those who've just joined, I will give you're very advanced, obviously, because you can receive the entire 27 minutes prior with a simple, very brief instruction, which is get comfortable, be here, relax deeply, attend to the breath in a sublime way. And now we will begin our self-massage practice. So with awareness of everything that you're doing, bring your hands, your palms together. So you're still breathing through the nose, hopefully, with awareness, and you're bringing the palms together in a way that is pleasurable for you. And you can even bring your palms out a little bit away from your chest and just gaze gently, if it's comfortable for you, at some of the fingertips between any two of the fingers. Breathing through the nose and just relax everything as much as possible. So you have an intention. Okay, your intention is this fairly simple action, hopefully fairly simple action, of bringing the palms together and just gently gazing between any two of the fingertips and breathing through the nose, and then relaxing everything else so that you're doing only this one thing and nothing else. This is the idea. We want to be able to do just this one thing, because you'll notice presently you're doing a whole bunch of other things. And those other things that you're doing, they feel uncomfortable to you. So the thing here is that you're discovering clearly what it is you want to do and differentiating that from everything else so that you're not doing the things that you don't want to do. So you're just having these simple intentions. And if any of that's too much for you, because sometimes that can be that's a lot to be aware of breathing and the palms together and not doing the million things that you're conditioned to do that are unnecessary. So you could keep it even simpler, which would just be aware of uh, experiencing as much pleasure as possible, and if possible, maintaining this general position or posture. But if that's too much, too strenuous, then you can reduce it in whatever way is best for you. Now, you hopefully can feel your palms together. And I want you to now have the intention that you're going to slide your palms. So one is going to move up and the other is going to move down, or however you understand that movement. They're going to slide over one another and start to actually explore that really, really slowly, so that you're not going to have some sort of like sudden movement, jerky movement, so that it can be as graceful, if such a thing is possible, as possible. And then to reverse that. So it's this very deceptively simple movement, but it reveals so many things that you probably didn't know that you were doing. And hopefully you find that pretty quickly you get better at it, so that it's nicer. And if not, then don't do that. Now, bring your palms apart and just feel for a moment the energy on the palms and fingertips in the hands. And now intend that you're going to bring that healing energy to your abdomen, and bring your hands, your palms slowly with awareness of how you're doing it, letting it be pleasurable, to the abdomen in whatever way is nice for you. And notice, can you just do this, just this thing, it's just putting the hands on the abdomen in a way that is actually nice. Yes, it's an unusual position, maybe. Depends how you're lying or sitting, I suppose. Maybe it's slightly easier if you're lying down. But, to really let the shoulders relax, let the chest relax, let the abdomen relax, let the buttocks relax, let the thighs relax, while you're aware of breathing through the nose, hopefully. And how that breath is interacting with this intention. So you have the intention to have the hands on the abdomen in a good way, in a way that's nice, pleasurable, enjoyable. Now that maybe at first you don't even know at all where that experience might be, because that experience exists somewhere somatically. There is definitely a somatic place of poise and grace and strength and suppleness that is available to you. But depending on how much, I guess we could call it, sensory motor amnesia you are dealing with, and your skill in this general kind of practice, your immediate results may vary because it can reveal a lot. Just being aware of the breath. I hope it's clear to you how powerful this is. Because by being aware of the breath and your intention, you can accomplish anything. So, this is for those who listened to or who know the story of the Ramayana. This is Hanuman when he is reminded of his true identity while Angada's team had found their way to the ocean and had discovered that Sita is 100 yojanas to the south across the sea. So this seems like an impossible task for a bunch of monkeys and a bear. But Hanuman is reminded who he is. And so he's the son of Vayu, the wind god. So the breath. And he is clear on his intention. He says in fact in the original Valmiki's original it says something like that he's already he's in his mind he's already been successful. He's already achieved his aim. He's already gone to Lanka and defeated Ravana and retrieved Sita, referring to Hanuman. So here we are, just with this, whatever the intention is in this moment, this, I'm proposing just hands on the abdomen, aware of the breath, aware of this intention to have the hands on the abdomen in a good way. And remember that if ever at some point it's just, you don't know how to do it in a good way, then don't. That's a really important part of the process, is learning self-care, self-regulation, how to understand the signals, how to best deal with those things. Because nature is the healing intelligence who already exists in you and as you. So when you set your mind clearly on this intention, when you can taste it, feel it, picture it, and it becomes real in your inner senses. So here you've given the clear instruction to the charioteer where to go. The charioteer now has the reins and control of the horses, sending the clear intention where we're going. Then the destination is certain. So with the aid of the breath, all things are possible, even leaping over 100 yojanas. So hopefully you find that as you do this, do you find that your abdomen is softening? Do you notice your chest is opening? Do you notice your lower abdomen is releasing? Do you notice that your breath is freer, more satisfying? Let your tongue relax in the lower jaw and let the gaze be gently downward, not in a strenuous way, but just downward, generally downward, downcast. Now, with your hands on, so we've got many things, many possibilities for you at this point. So remember, you don't have to do things just because I've suggested them. So part of the self-care is you respect what your needs are, what's appropriate for you in this moment, and take good care of yourself. So you can just take a nap if that's what you need to do. You can eat a snack if you need to eat a snack. Whatever you need to do, that's okay. And then you can find that edge where you can live boldly and express your authentic truth, your authentic desire with confidence, gaining increasing confidence in your ability to meet experience with, in a good way, to be embodied in a good way, to be clear about your intentions, your vision, so that you can live in a good way in all respects. Uh, so that, that's what's available. And this practice allows you to access all of that. I mean, it's always available to you to access, but this guided practice, as I've stated from the beginning, because there's a collective participation, then by nature, and because it's in alignment with nature, that what receives more energy gives more. So the things that the thing I didn't finish saying earlier is that I do encourage a daily practice, and the guided collective practice offers benefits on top of the daily practice, obviously, because it works on many levels. I mean, on a very simple level, there are new ideas that are offered, suggestions, fresh perspectives that you wouldn't have considered on your own or wouldn't have come to so quickly. So, these kinds of benefits, but much more at other levels too. And so it's a gift to yourself, and it's a gift to everybody else when you participate. So it amplifies and empowers your positive healing intentions. So if you're able to proceed and you would like to proceed to the next step, now you've got your hands on the abdomen. Now find the belly button and allow your middle fingers to touch and right over the belly button, so that your palms are resting on the abdomen and the middle fingers come together right on top of the belly button or in front of the belly button and just rest there. So you really can feel the belly button. You can feel your hands. And now I want you to imagine, so we're not going to do any movement just yet, but I want you to imagine that there's a clock face. I know it's a silly kind of thing, but imagine there's a clock face on your belly, centered at the belly button. So that, it's the kind, clock face. So it's got the hands on it, and the pin of the hands is at your belly button. So the hands go around, and I want you to get a sense in your imagination of which way is clockwise. So if 12 o'clock would be, let's say, at your base of your sternum, base of your breastbone, then 3 o'clock would be at the lowest left rib, the waist, the left waist. And then 6 o'clock would be at the pubic bone, and 9 o'clock would be at the right waist. Okay, so that gives you a sense of the clockwise direction, hopefully. So now I want you to keep your hands generally just there around the belly button, but start to circle the hands on the abdomen in a clockwise direction, just around the belly button. So whatever's comfortable. It could be like I don't know, whatever's comfortable, a comfortable size for you. You can vary the size of the circle, but centered at the navel and going clockwise. So really feel, now go slowly and keep your hands together, kind of generally with the middle fingertips touching roughly. You don't have to be absolutely a stickler about it, because there's some, but no, that's probably generally a good idea. Just kind of keep the middle fingertips together, circular, clockwise, a clockwise circular motion around the navel, with the hands on the abdomen, letting it be pleasurable. So letting the palms really be open and soft, and so that you can really feel that healing energy in the palms. You want to really be able to have that kind of level of sensitivity. So you have to soften the palms and the fingers so that they're really resting on the abdomen and sliding in a nice way that you maintain the same kind of sensitivity throughout. And the same with the abdomen itself. So the abdomen also needs to soften to meet the hands. So as the palms are going around, the palms are soft, the abdomen is softening and yielding to the palms. So you should really start to, I want your whole body should start to feel very vital, alive. So you're breathing through the nose with awareness, moving the palms around the belly in a clockwise direction, centered around the navel, in the most pleasurable way possible, so that your arms feel good, your shoulders feel good, your wrists feel good, your palms feel good, your chest feels good, your throat feels good, your whole abdomen feels good. Even the legs feel good. Even the head feels good. The face feels good. The tongue is relaxed. The eyes gazes gently downward. And then again, bring the hands centered at the navel. and just feel that healing energy moving. Feel the breath as it empowers your intention, your healing intention. Feel your body alive. And remember that if you don't know how to do it in a good way, just remember that you don't need to do it. Maybe there's nothing that needs to be done so badly that it needs to be done in the wrong way. I don't know, but it's just a thing to question, like a living uh, guiding light. Is this thing that I'm presently doing badly, does it need to be done so badly that it's worth doing in the wrong way, in a bad way? So we maybe can start to just slow down, give ourselves permission to be, to breathe, to receive, to have clarity of our soul purpose. Because maybe a life is only worthwhile if it honors the soul. We know that there's an awful lot of what we could call evil that seems to be done. So we know the consequences of not honoring the soul's needs. Knowing that, I'm proposing that it's time for us to be willing to honor the soul and to take good care of ourselves, to receive the healing energy that is gifted to us, to allow that healing energy to empower our good intentions, our healing intentions for ourselves and for others. But if you always put others first and never put yourself in a position to fully be cared for, then be sure that you care for yourself. Or if you are in a fortunate position to be quite well taken care of and feel confident that you're able to take good care of yourself, you've gained those skills, then take this courageous step and help others. Even if there's something in you that's still afraid, be willing to extend your healing intention to those who you love. You just start with those you love. Just have, if it's true for you and you can make a connection with that that abundant nature within you, that you can connect with that true sense of security that you are okay in this moment. If you can really feel that, glimpse that, have that just for a moment, then that one moment is enough that it gives you so much abundance. You can then share that with those you love. So have a healing intention for them as well. See them and bless them in your mind, in your heart. Bless those you love. See them within yourself in a good way. See them healthy, happy. See them loving and loved. See them understood and understanding. See them caring and cared for. See them safe. See them fulfilled, so that this healing energy is magnified now. So when we have the abundance, well, we connect with the abundance that allows us to genuinely, authentically extend the blessing to those we love, then the blessing is multiplied. And you can also, if it's true for you, and this is not have to be, does not have to be true, please understand that. But if it's genuinely, authentically true for you, that you also know that you really truly have touched upon and connected with such abundance that you could also extend the blessing to anyone who has a true need of of uh, of true healing at any level, to help them uh, to really live an authentic life, fulfilling their soul purpose. Then you could also extend the blessings to those who uh, ever participate in this guided practice, whether it's presently through the live meeting or through YouTube, so that through all time we can extend the blessing to this group of people. So we're not trying to extend it to everybody in the whole universe at this point, because we want to go step by step. If in accordance with nature's laws, we walk before we run. So if we can't love ourselves, we need to start there. If we can't love our loved ones, then after we can love ourselves, we need to extend our love to our loved ones, and then onward in this way, and to the extending eventually to all being, but it has to be complete. So one step at a time, and we just follow in that sequence, and then we see what's possible. And truly anything is possible if it's true for you. If you know that it's your soul purpose, if you know that it's who you really are, if you know that it really is so, then nothing can stop that. So that's why these divine qualities of love, generosity, wellness, these kinds of things are, we can enliven them and express them and know them, because that's what we're here to do. So that's the fulfillment of the soul purpose, is to satisfy that which is here to be satisfied, which has to be knowledge of truth. In whatever way we lack the clarity, we have to learn that lesson fully. So anybody who has a need of a true healing in any way, who participates in these meetings, we can also, those of us who feel that it's truthful for us, we can extend this blessing to them as well. And then let's just take a few moments, and you can completely relax in whatever way is most comfortable for you. And just feel the support that's here. Just feel that you're here. This body is here in support. The bones are here in support. The organs are here in support. The muscles are here in support. The skin is here in support. The ground is here in support. The whole earth is here in support. The breath is here in support. So there's an enormous, magnificent support that's here. And just receive that support and receive the healing energy. And just let it be directed by that natural intelligence within you. Now that you have had this clarity on what your healing intention is, if you wish to recall that one more time, that's okay. And then just be willing to surrender completely to the divine. Just trust that your healing intention is being made manifest. It is expressing. Just be witness to it. Just silently watch with just the slightest of positive expectation, watching for the imminent fulfillment of this true desire, authentic soul desire, so that the fulfillment is even greater than you had ever envisioned. So just be willing to surrender to that greater intelligence, that same intelligence that flawlessly operates all of nature, all of the planetary bodies, all of the elements, every creature, every single minutia of experience, every sensation, every sight, every color, all perfectly and infinitely, eternally organized and operated by nature. So you're just now releasing this healing intention, and you've done it all in alignment with nature. So, it's like this it's guaranteed to succeed, just like Hanuman leaping over the ocean. Guaranteed. Absolutely guaranteed. So receive that healing energy and trust and know that it is so. We have to remember that trust is something we have to choose, and we have to practice it. And if we're out of practice, we won't be very skilled at it, but just that makes it all the more important that you have to practice it. You have to practice that willingness to surrender and trust in the fundamental goodness. So practice that is for as long as you desire and need, and there's no hurry whatsoever. However, this is the conclusion of today's guided practice. So I will be ending the recording of this practice. And for those who are here live, there is that announcement, which I don't want it to be startling. So you have been told about that.